Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Groove podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another review. Episode number 7, The Eye, Lord of the Rings of Power. IMDb gave it a 6.4. This thing is going downhill. This thing is going downhill, dude. The rating for the entire show is 6.9. It can't quite get over the 7 hump, you know? It's still stuck
Yeah, well, they
there.
had the one episode last week that was the 8, but that was a battle. Like interesting things happened, and there was no Harfoots. They didn't have the Harfoots to deal with, so the Harfoots brought the rating right down.
So you're saying, okay, last week you said this episode will be a lot of walking and talking, and that's what it was, right?
Yeah. They spent all the budget on the fight, so they're like, we got no more budget.
Man,
step the camera and start talking.
I can't square that. You say that a lot too. Like the battle is the last episode or the next to the last episode because that's where the money is being spent. It's just like, well, you don't need a movie. You don't need to make a movie if you can't give me battles throughout the entire, season.
True.
I mean, especially if it's episodic. It's like when we were looking at Halo. Halo should have been it should have been like Swiss cheese in every episode, right?
Every episode should be people blasting mofos. Like, right. That's what I wanted.
A lot of walking and talking, like you said. And Quan yelling. That's it, But you know what? I think we may have a Quan moment in episode number 7, The Eye. And that was Theo. Remember Theo? He said to her, like, it was all my fault, right? And it was, because he had this like little instrument, he was just like goofing off. It makes me powerful. And it got into the wrong hands, right? So he said that it was all of his fault. All of that happened.
He didn't tell him. He snitched on everybody and told them where the sword was.
Right. So he said that was it was all of his fault, right? But then when he saw hundreds of orcs, he wanted to go out there and fight them. Just 2 people. I'm just like, dude, you just said it was all your fault. And I was just like, come on. So see, that's what I mean. See, the writing right there was a little stupid, right?
Yeah. There's no consistency.
There's no consistency, dude.
And then she said her husband's dead. Her husband's in the movies. You can see him. He's still alive. Why would you do that?
In this movie.
In the Isildur. Yeah, no, in the Lord of the Rings, this is supposed to be a prequel to the Lord of the Rings movies. It's supposed to be same universe, same people, right? Her husband's standing next to her in the Lord of the Rings movies. In 2 of them. So for her to say, oh, my husband died, I lost somebody close to me. How? Like, he's in the movies. He's supposed to be alive. Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. And the Isildur has to be alive because he's the one that
ask you that.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So Isildur cannot be dead.
He has to be.
He cannot be dead.
Of all the people in this show right now, Isildur is the most important person.
And he's dead.
He has to be alive.
Or, what, his horse did go back to, I guess, run back out to see where he was. Who knows? Maybe his horse can bring him back to life. I don't know. This is like a fantasy joint, right?
It's not suspenseful if you know that this guy has to be alive, because the Lord of the Rings movies cannot happen if he's dead. He has to be. Of all the people on this show, you can get rid of Galadriel, you can get rid of all these people, and it would be fine. Isildur has to be alive. Of all the people on the show, he's the only one that matters the most. So the fact that you're gonna pretend like he's dead, that's silly, because he has to be alive. So there's no suspense.
I need some orc history, so I'm gonna ask you some questions about the orc.
Okay.
Or the orcs. Okay, so the orcs, they rule. I mean, they rule land that they've conquered, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're foot soldiers. They're not smart. They're basically, they take orders.
Right. But but how did they come? I mean, they came about somehow without like having a leader, right?
No, they got leaders. Like Adar's leader.
Right, but they just did. How did they come about? I mean, you said that the orcs were just like they're created by
elves. They're elves that were created. So who's Morgoth or whatever his name is? That's the original guy they were fighting before all this stuff happened. He created them. with magic and whatever. He corrupted elves and made them turn into orcs.
Okay, so the orcs, so they're mostly men too, right? Not women.
No, they're well, yeah, they're male. They're male elves.
Okay,
That's where they came from.
so
There's no female orcs.
okay, so they
It's
have
not a thing.
okay, so they don't basically have like a city that they don't
No,
have a capital, they don't have like running water, they don't have
no.
plumbing.
They're
They don't,
soldiers. They're
okay.
unlimited soldiers.
Right. So as they, just travel from land to land, from I guess country to country, and conquering these countries and completely
hmm
devastating them with like fire and everything else.
hmm
I'm just trying to figure out what is it that they produce anything? I mean, do they have a
No,
government? I
their
mean, what
goal
is
is
it?
their goal is to remove Middle Earth of men and elves and
And then what?
hobbits and whatever else,
And then
because
what?
Sauron wants to take over their Earth, Middle Earth.
Right, but
That's
I
it.
mean,
He wants to
right, okay,
destroy
so
everything, get rid of everybody.
okay, but once
He's
you do
ultimate
that,
evil.
right, but once you do that, because you have to destroy the land that you are
Yeah,
trying to conquer, now you have no resources. Once you do that, the orcs' land is just basically decimated. It's just fire, dirt, everything else.
yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how do they
That's
make
but
revenue? How do they like
that's
make
what
money to
Mordor
make
looks
weapons
like.
and things like that?
Mordor looks exactly like that. Like, so it's supposed to
Wow,
be
okay, so
desolated with it's doom and gloom and death and destruction. That's what Mordor is.
yeah.
And
See,
it's on the border of
mhm,
man. Man's the one been fighting them for the longest time by themselves.
mhm,
Elves have been like, ah, it's not our problem. We're leaving this place.
okay.
And other species don't really care. Man's the one holding this tide together to stop this thing
Right.
by themselves.
So let me ask you this too. So the orcs to me seems completely and utterly useless. I mean, you don't it seems like you don't even need them in this
Mm.
show. I mean, I can see why it's a little drama, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
they do nothing. It's just like fighting. I mean, like in the Lord of the Ring movies, were elves
Mhm.
and dwarfs fighting each other?
No, the elves, they're fighting the orcs.
The elves are fighting
The
the orc.
orcs,
Mhm.
yeah, everybody's fighting the orcs. That's their battle. The orcs
Okay,
are evil, and that's their fight.
and they
Humans, elves, dwarfs, everybody's fighting the orcs.
cannot destroy the orcs. These like
Well, it's
simple-minded people.
their numbers are vast. So, like
Wow.
in the two towers, I'm watching right now.
Mhm,
They sent the spoiler alert for anybody who's not seen the movies in
mhm.
20 years. They send like 60, 70,000 orcs to go destroy this city. Like it's just waves of orcs. Like it's like a sea of orcs to just kill off man. And they're in trouble right now. I'm in the middle of watching it. They're in trouble. They got a rough, tough road ahead.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
So
it.
right. Okay.
They're trying to destroy man and remove man because that's their. So you got to think about Middle Earth is supposed to turn into regular Earth in the future,
Mhm.
hundreds of thousands of years from now, and so the Sauron thinks that if he can destroy or corrupt man, he can take over the whole planet and
Yeah.
just rule it. That's his plan.
Okay.
Because the elves are leaving. Elves are leaving. They're not going to be there to help fight or whatever, or build or run society. They're leaving Earth. They think their time is over. And hobbits are useless because they're 3 feet tall. And so, say the dwarfs are all died off. There's very,
Right.
very few dwarfs left. So it's just up to man to save the day. So that's the thing. They're like, we got to get rid of man, then we can run this thing.
Right. So something quite interesting happened in this episode. It was like when I keep calling this like tall giant person Merlin, right? But
Yeah, he's a
when he
regular sized person. They're
right,
tiny though.
right. So when he was there with the Flintstones, and he basically brought like all of this like life back to this swath of land,
Yeah.
apples, everything else. And then these three
hmm
individuals came up, right? They didn't talk.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
saw
who
them
they
I
are.
saw them like 3 episodes back, and I was like, yo, who
Yeah.
are these people in these white outfits and everything else? But basically, she grabbed the flame and just burnt
hmm
up everything again, right?
Yeah, the internet's calling her feminine because she looks like Eminem.
Feminine.
Yeah, they're calling her feminine.
Feminine. It could be Eminem and just dressed up a little
Yeah,
bit.
because she got
Right?
the short haircut, the buzz cut, this
Right.
blonde. Everyone's calling her feminine on the internet right now.
Right. So
But
they
yeah, so
basic
there's
mhm.
like a cult for Sauron, as far as I can tell. That's what it's
Okay.
supposed to be.
So she basically now they have to reverse this process, which is silly in and of itself, right? It's just like,
Yeah, this is
let's go
terrible. It's
find
not good writing.
Merlin so we can like have him reverse the process. And they're like,
Mhm.
they showed him like this is where Giant Land is. I guess that's what they're calling it.
He's just
That-
regular size land.
right.
Those guys are tiny. That's the
Right. But
thing. Look, I remember
they're
that.
calling them giant. They're like, go to Giant Land, right? And I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay, well, you know
yeah.
what? This is like the Flintstones came through this episode. Not quite sure what they are all about because
It's dumb.
I don't. Do they
Dumb.
have weapons?
No, they're peaceful. They're basically like farmers that are like living off the earth, and these ones move around. The other ones stay put. The hobbits stay put, and
Do
they
they
farm their land and do their thing.
do they sell commerce or things like that to other people?
No, the Shire is like this little tiny piece of land. All the hobbits are there. They don't leave the Shire. They don't know anything. They don't care about adventure. They don't want to see what the rest of the world is like. And Gandalf is the only one from outside that goes over there to check in on them. That's it.
Wow.
Nobody even knows what they look like. I've seen them before.
Well, I mean, they do know what water is, though, right?
Yeah, well, the hobbits know what water is. I don't know what these the Flintstones. I don't know what their thing is about, but the hobbits know what water is, and beer and regular food. They're good.
Right.
Hobbits are good.
So the queen, is she blind? Because I mean she had like something wrapped around her eyes and everything. I mean
Yeah. That apparently standing in a middle of a volcano ash is not a good idea, and having stuff
yeah.
fall on you when you should be in the corner just chilling, having your people work for you. She's doing it
Right.
herself.
Yeah.
All right, whatever, man.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Okay.
dumb.
So she's going back to Numenor. And they're not coming back, are they?
I don't know. Like this
She
is the
said she
thing.
was coming back, but are they coming
This
back or what?
entire story's made up. They can do whatever they want because it's not part of anything.
Oh my
So whatever they
goodness,
do with this
man.
thing, they're filling in the gaps with crayon right now. Just do
Yeah.
whatever they feel like. Because this is not part of the official story. And they're just making up their own thing.
So right now the Southlands they are completely destroyed, right?
The Southlands is Mordor right now. It's completely ash, dust, volcano is just ruined.
So
And that's where all the orcs are.
every land they have to conquer, they have to like have something erupt or something just to destroy it before they take over. Okay.
Normally they just go to these other places, just kill them in. That's it. Move on.
I mean, they kill everyone, children, women, everyone.
They kill everything. They kill
Wow.
everything. But like, see, this is like a once in a lifetime event because they had to come up with an excuse to make Mount Doom, and so they've decided we're gonna make it part of this show. Because Mount Doom is where the Lord of the Rings thing comes from, the actual ring. It came from this mountain that erupted, and so they're trying to say, look, this is how it started. I don't really care how it started. I just assumed the volcano's always been there. Like, you need to show me you made a volcano. That seems silly.
Yeah.
It's a waste of special effects. You could add more fighting or something.
I will say this though, man. The episode looked like stunning.
Oh, yeah, special effects was crazy. It looked nuts.
Chain, right? I was just like, wow, this is amazing, dude. I mean, not a lot going on in this episode. Like you said, just a lot of walking and talking. And a lot of talking about nothing too, you know. I mean, they really didn't set anything up. They didn't
advance the story.
No, the only thing
moved forward.
The only thing I think they advanced were the Flintstones, Merlin, and those three sort of people, women or whoever they were. That's the only thing, you know, they sort of like moved forward, you know.
I hate this mystery crap. Like, we're not watching film noir or something like that. It's not a murder mystery. Tell me what the thing is. Like, people are gonna be like, because basically they're writing this show like everybody's been a scholar of Tolkien books for the last 50 years. That's how they're writing this show. They expect you to know what Mount Doom is. They expect you to know where this is where the ring came from. This is where the Shire is gonna be. This is Gandalf and not some magical person. Like, they expect you to know all this stuff, and this is not good writing.
Did they make this television series for people who are into the Lord of the Rings, or did they make it for
It's supposed
people?
to be,
Well, but
but like,
okay, but right, but let me stop you there. Okay, right. So I think that
yeah,
sort of writing is weird because it's like, what about everyone else who's just like, oh, I've never seen this, I want to see it, and then they go in blind. It's just
but
like, who are the orcs? Who are these
this
people?
is
Who are
my
that? They
point.
didn't explain anything.
This is my point. The Lord of
Hmm.
the Rings movies explains everything. This is the Shire. This is where we are on the map. So you're
Yeah,
not confused about what the hell is going on and who's talking to who. You know everybody's names. They introduce themselves, so you know their names. Like they talk their names to a sentence. You're like, oh, okay, that's Gandalf again. All right, cool. I'm following along. They don't, this is such poor writing because it's written in a way that I expect you to know, but also written in a way where they expect you to kind of figure things out, but also they don't want you to figure things out too.
right,
I'm like, what are we doing here? like
exactly.
the
So
three witches or whatever, the with Feminem. Well,
yeah,
who are they? You're not going to tell us? Like,
who are
you
they,
expect us to know who they are because they're not part of the lore.
and
They
why
just
are they
you
so
introduce some
powerful?
characters.
Right. Uh huh.
Yeah, so they're magical. Okay, well, why are they there? What are they doing? They're just walking around looking at stuff.
And
That's
who are they
just
with? I
terrible
mean, are they
writing.
with the giants? Are they with Adar? Are they with the humans? I mean, or are they with the
We're
dwarfs? What's going on?
we're supposed to speculate that there was Sauron, but like, where's Sauron? You don't know that the other guy is supposed to be Sauron. You don't know that. This is terrible writing. They should have
And,
said it.
and then speaking of the dwarfs, Elrond and Durin's father is like, dude, we're not going to help the elves, get out of death or whatever. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. It's just like, really? It's just like. So I
Mhm.
know there's going to be some intrigue there too, because
Well,
you
they
think,
they showed a Balrog. I'm like, what the hell are you gonna do with that?
yeah, I
like
mean,
that demon
yeah.
thing that's in
What was that?
fire.
What was that? Yeah, what was that?
That's gonna kill everybody in the mines. They can't stop that. Gandalf barely survived killing it in the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring. He barely survived killing it. These guys have no magical powers. It's gonna be a wrap for everybody down there.
Wow. So what do you think? I mean, do you think the elves will survive? And it's kind of weird that they have a storyline like this because you can't really have Lord of the Rings without the elves, right?
Yeah, the elves are fine. Elrond's fine. He's chilling.
Mhm.
He's got a daughter. His daughter's gonna marry the king.
Right.
He's fine. He's good to go.
But do you think they will survive in this series? Obviously, they will, right?
They have to. But this,
They
this is what I'm
have to.
saying. When you do prequels, it
Hmm.
removes so much suspense because you cannot mess with the lore too much.
Yeah.
Then it's not a prequel to this thing. So like, Galadriel has to live, and she's got to be fine with two her limbs and everything, and
Hmm.
she's got to find her husband. We know that because it's in the books. Elrond's got to be fine. He's got to have a daughter, or his daughter's already she'd be alive already. I don't know what's going on with that because it's in the books too.
Hmm.
Isildur has to destroy Sauron.
He has
Like
to
there's
live.
so much
He
stuff.
has
He
to
has to
live.
live.
You know?
So there's like a Numenorian is supposed to be destroyed. We already know that. So like any storyline that goes on with the Numenorians, like we already know they're gonna get destroyed. We know that's gonna happen. So like it's not like oh, I wonder what's gonna happen with them. It's like, well, when is it gonna happen? And that kind of takes away suspense. I don't think prequels are a good idea. I think that you should tell a different story or do something somewhere else.
You got to hit a prequel like on the head.
Perfectly.
It's got to be
Perfectly.
perfect, man. You can't like stray away from what's going on before that, and
Mhm.
it's just like, okay, we have this prequel, and just all of the Lord of the Rings people, they're just like, what is this?
Yeah, everybody's mad. Like if you go
What is
online,
this? Is this Lord of the Rings or is this Lord of the Blings or
yeah,
Lord of the Beings? I don't know. I mean,
fans of
mhm,
Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and books and stuff, they are
they're
mad. They're
not feeling it,
piping hot
man.
mad right now. They're not feeling none of this.
Yeah.
They've been telling everybody for like if you go online and go on YouTube, you can see the downvotes on anything these guys have released on YouTube. Anything.
Wow.
I'm talking millions of downvotes. Not
Wow.
even like 20,000. I mean millions of downvotes. That's how
That is
mad the
insane.
whole entire a group of people who like this stuff is with this show. And rightfully so. I gotta be honest, man. This show has not done justice to the thing. And I have to say this: I'm not a scholar. I've I'm only just starting to read the books in all my years of knowing about this stuff. I've seen the movies a bunch of times, but like I'm just the first time I've started reading the books. And to be honest, this show's not good.
No.
It's just not.
The only thing that is keeping my interest is the visuals are dope. I think
I want to see what happens.
it may not have been written well, but the dialogue is good, right? And for me, that's really it. It's just that. It's just those two things. That's it. It's nothing else. It's not any characters. I'm not like invested in any characters.
I don't like any of the characters, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know I guess if I had to like a character, Elrond and Durin are kind of cool. The friendship they have is kind of cool.
Yeah, the dwarf Durin, I like him. But everybody else, I'm indifferent to. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the Flintstones. I don't know what's going on with the humans, the elves. I want to see like I want to see like the elves, like where they live. Like I want to see the armies. I want to see the city. I haven't seen that.
You have to watch the movies for that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I don't know, man. This is this episode was a little weird, man. We're gonna wrap this up because we have 3 episodes left.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because we have 3 episodes left.
Yeah, we can get this thing over with.
Like,
finish this show.
If Amazon was super smart, they would give us all 3 episodes.
Just get it over with.
Week. Get it over with.
Here's the thing. If I wasn't paying for Amazon and buying stuff regularly, I would not be watching this show right now.
No, I mean, listen, if I didn't have Amazon, I wouldn't be like, well, I'm not watching this because I'm not I'm not into the fantasy stuff.
Money. Yes, the thing, but I wouldn't pay money to Amazon to watch this show.
Wow.
Like the fact that I already have it and it's like it's on, like, all right, I'll take a look because we're gonna review it. If we weren't reviewing it, I wouldn't watch. After the first couple of episodes, I'm like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Are you gonna rate this one or what, dude?
Nah, we're good. Just walking and talking doesn't deserve a rating. We're just gonna move on.
Well, I mean, if I did rate it, it wouldn't be like a 6 or anything like that because
it'll be lower than
that. I did not feel anything. I mean, I don't know what this episode was about, dude. I just don't know, man.
It just man, yeah, not enough stuff happened. How are you gonna push the plot forward if we got 3 episodes left? That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know, dude. They're gonna squeeze a lot of things in, and it's sad when you have a show like this. Big budget, cinematic. It looks dope. It looks good. Visuals, dialogue, the whole 9, and you're doing like the Hollywood checkoff. Let's put everything in the last 2 or 1 episode.
Yep.
Come on. It's cool.
And see, because they want to do like a cliffhanger to make you interested in watching the show again, but they're not doing a good job of it.
No cliffhangers, dude. It's none. It's none here.
There's nothing you could do that would be like, oh my God, I can't wait for season 2. Like, you know what? There is one thing you could do.
What?
Fire the showrunners and the people writing the show. And then bring in a whole new group of people. And I'll be like, you know what? Let me check out season 2. That would change my mind. That would change my mind. They have to fire these 2 guys. They're on a media blitz right now telling everybody you guys are dumb because you don't like our show. Right now, the showrunners are doing that.
It's just like, that's never good. When you own a product and you're telling people they're dumb because they don't know how to use your product. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I'm DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.